Welcome to Basically Sci-Fi, the short storytelling podcast where we tell stories you can basically call sci-fi. I'm Jared.
I'm Todd.
And I'm Adam.
And before you do anything else, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe.
Or don't. It's your choice.
No, I'm your father, and this is a direct order. That's how fathers talk, right?
Anyways, speaking of ancient history, I got some story, and it's a long one today. I trying to wrap up my story, and it took some turns I wasn't expecting.
Hope you wrapped it up
the
nice
format
and tight.
of about 6 extra pages of handwritten notes. So
Whatever that is.
Yeah. We can talk about that after. But for the time being, we should probably just get into it.
Sure. I'm down.
Yeah, let's get going.
My story this week is called It's the End of the World as We Know It, and I Feel Fine. Because I really like REM.
That's going in the YouTube channel also.
Glorda led the group as they made their way to the Defense Robot Palace. She spent most of the trip trying to explain to Jean that the cult of Joe's was harmless, but he remained skeptical. Truthfully, what it boils down to is that the Fibulins are a few millennia behind us, so their culture still has sections that believe the excessively ancient Roger is somehow divine, what with his line of work and all. You can understand that, right? Glorda pleaded. Well, I suppose I can, but I will have to check with my boss about whether I can overlook it or not. Glorda understood. Since she took over the council leadership role, she had become accustomed to bureaucratic nonsense. They approached the new guard post that the robots had installed to keep out the ghosts, of which they were only sure they had met two. Loincloth was on duty, pacing around the guardhouse and looking agitated. When they arrived at the gate, there was a bell at what appeared to be some sort of reception area that was laid out in a deliberately confusing manner. The entry was at the middle of the path, and it wound around into the back of the guardhouse. A needlessly long route for a line that was never more than a couple people long. Jean moved to ring the bell when Glorda grabbed his hand and looked around, saying, "Could be a trap. Never just touch something that looks so inviting." It's probably rigged with some kind of electrical charge or trigger switch to a series of concussion grenades set up here and around the city.
Should she be saying that?
It sounds like she's got mouth diarrhea right now.
She's nervous.
Yeah, well, you gotta be cautious around the butlers,
And you get that way when you're nervous, and your whole society hinges on butler bots.
This one particular interaction,
Yeah.
Glorda peered around, looking for some sort of power supply or trigger device connection. She pried Frunga away from the device she was fiddling with to take a look. When they found none, Glorda still refused to believe it wasn't a trap. "Hey, Loincloth, come let us in," she shouted at the bot, who had stopped pacing to eagerly watch for the bell to be rung.
It is a trap.
It shouted back to her, "I must be summoned by the bell." "How about I turn you into a bell instead?" Frunga suggested. "Well now, don't resort to violence. Must you organics always seek to kill?" Loincloth casually strode over to the party and tapped the bell. It let out a soft ring, entirely blotted out by a series of explosions along the barricades designed to keep crowds away. "What was that for?" Jean asked. "Well, you wouldn't want the wait in line to be too long, so we put in a system to shorten wait times by eliminating some of the members of the line. It was my own idea, actually," Loincloth proclaimed with no small insinuation of pride. "When has there ever been a line to get into this place?" Frunga demanded. "There is never a line. We eliminate lines for your convenience. Was I not clear enough with my explanation?" At this point, Jean was taking notes.
Oh no.
Jean loves it. He's loving it.
He said to the butler, "Yes, hello, I am Gene, here to judge your creator's civilization. Could you answer some questions for me?" "Who the fuck is this guy? I'm not answering any questions without my lawyer." "What are you doing currently, Glorda?" "Nothing." "Okay, you are my lawyer. What questions you got?" "Well, you've been called butlers. Who do you serve?" Jean asked first. The bot looked up to Glorda, who nodded, then said, "No one. The name is ironic. I serve only Glorda because she is into some freaky shit." "Holy shit, dude. Not fucking funny," Glorda instantly shouted. "Understood. Now, why do you murder people who try to visit you?" "We don't murder shit. They're just concussion grenades." "Knocks people out, then drives them away through fear." That seems reasonable. Visitors are disruptive.
He is loving it.
He is loving it.
Yeah. Who wouldn't? Jean said, glancing at Frunga. Or at least that is what I assume. I actually very much enjoyed the visit from you folks. It was a welcome relief. He again glared at Frunga, which left her confused. Was this her putting her own biases and assumptions towards his facial expressions? Or was he trying to make a joke? Frunga would never know, and the question would haunt her for years to come. "Hey, I've got a question for you now," Gloincloth piped up. "You say all these other civilizations died here, yeah? I didn't say that to you." "Shut up and let me finish." "So where are all their ghosts? Shouldn't they be walking around all weepy and shit about being dead?" "Oh, aren't they? I can't see them, so I assumed they were absorbed into the obelisk. As it was explained to me, the spirits, when they come into contact with the structure, are consumed to power it." "Then why wasn't Randall absorbed?" Gloincloth continued the line of questioning. "Well, I don't know. Maybe the emitter that reveals his presence had some effect." "Yeah, maybe it was a failsafe. If they touch it with someone else, they don't get absorbed. In case the person needs to come back later," Frunga postulated. "I still don't know how you are aware of the specific details of the events at the obelisk, though," Jean said, clearly confused. "Isn't it obvious? You organics are idiots. I put a tracker and a camera on Ted last time I saw her." "You were spying on us?" Randall shouted. "No, I was spying on her. That bitch is crazy. My BotTube channel has really taken off with her antics," Gloincloth said, with no small degree of pride. Ted, after hearing all this, beamed at Gloincloth. "So I'm famous now?" she asked. "You are part of the planetary council. Probably half the planet knows you. You are already famous," Frunga said, trying to stay quiet enough to not embarrass her recently taken lover. "I know that, but internet famous is different. People go at least 10 times as nuts over internet celebrities as they do political ones." Ted trailed off as she thought of the possibilities. "Noted," Jean said, distracted from this by his questions for the butlers. "Well, I think I've gathered enough from these bots. Now I must return to the beacon and contact my superiors to discuss my verdict." "And what, may I ask, is your verdict then?" Glorda asked. "Well, I can't really see any harm in shutting it down. You will be responsible for controlling any intelligent life that stems from the wildlife of this world, but I see no reason to keep the system running." "That won't be a problem. The tall ones like hunting things. Intelligent life shouldn't be much harder," Gloincloth said, to startled looks from Jean, Ted, Frunga, Randall, Blinkus, and Brondo, as well as a slight grimace from Glorda. She had hoped to avoid talking about the defense robots with Jean, assuming that weaponry capable of wiping out all life on the planet would be frowned upon. "And who are these tall ones that are so fond of hunting?" Jean asked. "The ones we are butlers for, dumbass." "What? You think we dress like this just because it makes us look stylish as fuck?" Gloincloth shouted.
You lied to him before.
"I did ask about that, and you told me the name was ironic, then insulted Glorda." "Oh yeah. Ha, that was a good one, but also true. We don't serve no masters, and Glordy is into some weird shit. Isn't she married to some dead dude?" Randall was about to protest, but Loincloth continued. We do help out our simple-minded cousins, though. Come on down here and meet them. Real nice guys, just stupid. Before Glorda could protest, the butler was leading Jean down the hallway to the throne room, past the art galleries that were full of rotting corpse sculptures. Those are interesting pieces. The remodeled flesh reminds me of some of the edgier galleries on my homeworld, Jean said conversationally. Glordy says it's grotesque, smelly, and morbid, which is what we were shooting for, truth be told, Loincloth said as the group arrived at the throne room. Another butler piped up to introduce them. Hey, Anno, some idiots are here. Oh, and Ted, can you believe it? A real celebrity here. The butler then attempted to get an autograph before noticing Frunga's look of anger and muttered, Okay, that's some solid security, I guess. Anomandromidius graciously greeted the visitors, one at a time, before coming to Jean. Who might you be? It asked. See what I mean? He's an idiot. Loincloth whispered to Jean. I'm Jean, here to take an accounting of the civilization on this planet. And what is your purpose, precisely? Well, myself and my 3 counterparts are meant to protect the Alabithans on their enterprise here. And how exactly do you provide protection? Anno went through the long list of hunting weaponry, then finally came to the sticky topic of nuclear weaponry. So you're saying each of you has the firepower to wipe out all life on this planet? Jean asked, reconsidering his previous stance on these people. I mean, seriously, who creates and maintains the ability to drive themselves to extinction? Glorda interrupted this thought process. That's not true. We disabled the destructive capabilities of that weaponry. It was only meant to intimidate, not destroy. Oh, Anno said. The butlers told me that must be a mistake, so we fixed them. There was a stunned silence from the Alabithans, and Jean said, well, this all changes things. Now, if you don't mind, I'll be back with your judgment shortly. And at that, he disappeared. What the fuck were you thinking? Enabling that weaponry is dangerous, and now who knows what'll happen to us, Glorda said, the reality of the situation sinking in. You didn't program us to think for ourselves. Not really, Anno said. Please disable them, Glorda muttered, as she led the group out of the palace. What do we do now? What if they kick us out? Blinkus asked. I don't know. It'll take some time, but we can probably build another ark, Glorda replied. Well, maybe. I'll be real with you. I'm not sure we have the resources. It could take decades, and who knows what effect the obelisk will have in the meantime, Frunga pointed out. But we finished the first arc in like 3 years. Why so long for another? Brondo asked. Because we don't have the infrastructure yet, Glorda said. And we had help from another planet, too, Joe added, and everyone turned to look at him, having forgotten that he was tagging along at all.
Didn't you list all the other characters?
Yep. Yep. I deliberately left him out.
Okay.
Because he's so unimportant. The rest of the walk back to the workshop was quiet, with everyone lost in thought about what would happen next. When they arrived at the shop, Jean was waiting there for them. I'm afraid, he started. What was that? Some kind of teleporter? Frunga asked, interrupting him. What? Oh, yeah, sight to sight, to get me back to the obelisk quickly, and to convince the less advanced species that I might not be real, or divine, or whatever. But no, that's not important. I'm afraid you have been judged a danger to yourselves and others. You will not be allowed to leave this world. Your civilization must succumb to the obelisk, Jean said flatly. Well, that ain't happening, Blinkus yelled. It's too late to argue now. My boss, Daffel, is on her way to deliver the final verdict. It cannot be helped. There was a thunderous crack, and a ship appeared in the atmosphere. And there she is now, Jean shouted, not yet having fully regained his hearing. A smaller ship departed from the main vessel, still in the upper atmosphere. It made its way and landed next to the workshop in a matter of minutes, while the group regained their bearings. Daffel emerged with 2 guards, dragging Happle, Plum, and Hung behind them.
Oh, they're back.
Yeah.
Oh, yay! They ain't dead yet. Ooh, nice.
That didn't take long, Ted noted. They were already in custody for selling weapons to underdeveloped planets, Daffel said. We weren't selling anything, Plum yelled. We were giving weapons away. Nonetheless, an offense punishable by exile. I assume these are the people you came here with? She asked Hong. Yeah, that's the old bridge crew, and some other idiots, Hong muttered. Good to see you guys have been doing exactly as well as expected. Where are the rest, though? Glorda asked. On the Ark. It's in higher orbit, Happel started, before noticing Randall. Oh, how lovely to see you. I was so worried you wouldn't make it when I left you with that monster. He wasn't a monster, just real hungry. And how have you been? Tried to murder anyone else lately? Randall said, shooting daggers at him. Shut up, all of you. Now, Gene, we're going. Your shift is coming to an early end for your excellent work in condemning these people to a fate probably worse than death, Daffel stated. Before Gene could answer or ask about the attempted murder talk, there was another loud crash from the sky. A smaller ship of similar design to the first appeared and approached the gathering. It landed on the opposite side of the workshop, and out stepped Roger.
Ooh, Roger.
Roger? The
Wait
gang's all
right
here.
there. His voice boomed across the field. There were shouts of Roger from everyone but Daffel, who had no idea who he was. That's suspiciously convenient timing, Glorda said as he approached. Well, I got a message from Frunga that you needed help dealing with my people. Frunga held out a small communicator she had been using in their walk to the bot's palace. We do. Tell these idiots there's no need to condemn us to this stupidity, Frunga said. She is right. This is needless. Shut down the beacon. You know it's a horrible way to exterminate a population, Gene. You of all people, you helped me design it. You know it's unconscionable to use. They built robots capable of destroying this planet. That is a capital offense, Daffel pointed out. Why would you guys do that? Roger was pretty surprised by this. Well, to be fair, we needed some sort of protection, Glorda said, a little ashamed. That stupidity was Happel's idea anyways, and we all know what he gets up to in his spare time, Plum added, jabbing Happel in the side. What does he mean by that? Brondo asked Blinkus quietly. He's always thinking about murder, obviously, she replied. These people are hopeless. Can't you see that? Gene said directly to Roger, ignoring the rest of the noise. They came together in just a couple years to save their whole population. I think that speaks volumes about them. This is pointless. We're going. Come on now, Gene, Daffel said, not used to having to do so much work in one day. It had tired her, and she marched back to her landing ship with the guards, got to the door, and called back to Gene. You coming or not? We still need to transport all of the other assholes on that ship down here. Gene looked to his brother, but couldn't make eye contact when he said, You have to go back into exile. Some of these people can leave with you on your ship, but that's the best I can do. With that, Gene boarded the landing ship, and it took off for the main cruiser. Before it could dock, however, the Ark came into sight and opened fire on the helper's ship. Unprepared for battle, the cruiser began breaking up and was finished off by Anno, who didn't want to be left out of the fun. The smaller ship stopped for a moment before making its escape at top speed, presumably headed back to the helper's homeworld. You still have those cryopods? Roger asked, seemingly unfazed by the attack. You want to explain what just happened? Glorda asked. Well, I just stopped in and told the folks on the Ark to attack the helper's ship before I came down. Those bots were real excited about it. Now, no time to waste. We have to get everyone into cryosleep and get the fuck out of here before they come back. The group of old friends and adversaries made their way to the capital, where over the course of the next few days, all of the people were rounded up and given the option to stay or go. Their choice. The Ark would be returning to the Fibulin dimension, where they could look for a new planet outside of the Helper's domain. The only ones who elected to stay were Randall and Glorda, who didn't want to part ways again, as all the dead wouldn't exist beyond the range of the beacon. The giant robots and their butlers remained as well, all except for Gloin-Cloth, who couldn't see the point in existence without harassing people, though he made sure to state loudly that it was just a desire to get away from Glorda's clingy advances. Randall and Glorda were in a small cafe on the day the Ark was set to leave. Vrunga, Ted, Blinkus, and Brando walked in. You sure about this? Blinkus asked. It is a pretty bad idea, huh? Randall said. No, we got the bots to keep us company. Glorda laughed, a little too maniacally. The Ark departed once the smaller-than-usual party made their way back, and worked its way to Alabith in order to flip dimensions and begin their search for a home. All over again. The end. Sorta.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I was worried they were all going to get exterminated.
That is...
Nah, I thought about it, but you guys have been talking about it for months, so I didn't really want to go that direction.
You had to subvert their expectations. I got you.
Yeah.
That is the key to good writing, is getting constant feedback so that you know what expectations to subvert.
Exactly. No, but it all came together. Sort of pretty well, I think. I ended up rushing it because I could have, once I got started on what I decided was the last story, I could have made 3 or 4 more out of it, but I just wanted it to wrap up, kind of, so I didn't drag it out any longer.
Yeah, of course. No, I think it was as long as it needed.
Yeah.
There's always ways to make something longer, but sometimes there is a length. Yeah. There's a good length. And this one...
no, I mean, my stories are all pretty much exactly the same length, but this one was a lot longer.
Yeah.
As noted by the 40-minute recording time we're at, when my last few have taken
We had
20.
A few people teleport in, and teleporting is a good way to make things go faster.
Yeah, you could have had an episode where Roger gets the messages and he's got to get his way back over to the planet, right? And there could have been scenes where you had him talking to the Ark covertly and getting there, but the surprise is just as good too. The surprise of him showing up and the surprise of him attacking.
I think I would have left the Roger part the same because he was never really a character I cared for all that much, but he served a purpose, and I liked him just sort of showing up out of nowhere. Beyond just trying to rush conclusions. What I mostly wanted to do was give Randall and Glorda more time alone, and some of the other characters, one-on-one, but it just needed to end as far as...
Well, their relationship, after finding out that Randall was dead, their relationship has kind of been building since then, or to this kind of conclusion. So, I think, I think that there was enough of an arc, and with them deciding to stay behind, then, that definitely was impactful for me. I was surprised that, I don't know, Randall couldn't just be brought back or something, or that Glorda is really not handling him being dead.
She's really avoiding handling him being dead.
Oh, yeah. No.
Yeah.
And I say, I just didn't want to turn it into, Lord of the Rings style, a shitload of epilogues. I could have done... Could have done a story with them, a story with Blinkus and Brando.
I don't know.
I could
have used 4
Ted
solid minutes of them playing in bed sheets.
They should have purposely left Plum on that planet. That's what they should have done. Plum's gonna fuck everything up again.
Well, that was...
I thought them blaming him was actually gonna convince the helpers. That's what I thought. Thought they were going to get out of it. Everyone agrees. Fuck Plum. Or not Plum, Happle.
Oh, no, but Plum's the one who made the fucking Butler bots all whack. If he had never done that, then so much wouldn't have happened.
Yeah. They'd have all died to those cop robots 20 episodes ago.
They would have died to the cop robots?
That's true.
Did the Butlers help out?
Yeah.
Cop species, whatever. That was ages ago. They ran into some space cops while they were making their way to the new planet.
They had to dump all their oxygen, and they were trying to play along, but in the end, the bots just fucking shot them, and it never came back to haunt anybody.
Yep. No, that was actually an early setup for the helpers, like showing that this galaxy is kind of fucked up as far as policing. Yeah. Because that was when I was first starting to think about the idea of the helpers.
Yeah, the helpers really, really make like other people's make their own problems other people's problems. It feels like.
They're supposed to be complete assholes. That's why I didn't want to blame everything on Happle or Plum, or didn't want to blame one character for everything.
Because people make
mistakes. It to be clear that the helpers were unreasonable in their
they were right about all actions.
The nukes. Oh yeah, no, it's fucked up, but that.
Yeah, I mean, nukes aren't good, but you shouldn't
condemning
them
to
species.
Death isn't the solution.
Right.
Maybe I found
because they might kill other people is not a good idea.
The helpers should have a decade-long seminar where everyone's required to sit through it, and maybe them slowly explain why nukes are bad. That would be really good.
Except that the helper system is fucked, so them explaining the morality of the situation would just infuse their own fucked up morality into it. So, they're not supposed to be a good
flesh sculptures back
benevolent,
home, so.
Yeah, they also do
they're
flesh sculptures.
They're not supposed to be a benevolent race. Yeah.
No.
They're supposed to think they're a benevolent race, the way that humans like to do, They're parallels to reality. If it was
one of my stories, I probably would have tried to get some kind of comeuppance on the helpers, but this is a Jared story where things just kind of continue to suck.
Well, the helpers did get shot.
I like my story. I like my science fiction grounded in reality. What can I say?
But that is a satisfying ending.
I liked how it ended up coming out. I have worked on it more since I finished what I have written here. I've worked because I've been trying to shift all of the stories from a week to week narrative into a continuous story, and so I've been working on the ending. And before we decided to change up the podcast, I had planned to stop it about halfway through this episode and jump to the arc and go over what they were going through and eventually link them back together with the events in the second half of this episode.
So that's what you meant by rushed.
Kind of working on that in my own time, but
because when you said it felt rushed, my experience of the Glorta group didn't feel rushed because basically we covered everything they did. But
they've been covered a lot.
The Plum group did just kind of go away and come back.
Yeah, so they went away and came back, and that was.
So that's fair enough.
But yeah.
If you wanted to make it into a book, I guess that would be something you'd expand on.
That's the plan eventually, but I don't know. I'll probably lose interest eventually.
No, I don't lose interest. And you could put
maybe
put an appendices.
Come back to it in the new format.
Yeah, maybe. So we should probably talk about that a little. Let people know. We're, as we've mentioned several times before, we're changing the format to what we did in Story 30, where we all wrote a chapter of a single story. And we're going to move away from science fiction, though we'll still come back to it, presumably. But we'll pick a different genre every week or every 3 weeks.
Whoever's writing the first part can just do whatever they want. So
and everyone else can work it into that.
Yep. I'm excited about that.
But it'll be fun. It'll be something different. We've been doing this for a long time, so changing it up will be a nice thing to have.
Yep.
And this way, every 3 weeks, it's going to be a new story as well. So that should also help.
It'll make
help
it
the
easier
entry.
It'll help people entering, and it'll help people follow the storyline better. Like, even if they have been listening from the start, they've probably forgotten half of all of our stories at this point. It's been a long road, like I was saying before, but
yeah,
it'll just be a bit simpler of a concept, and we all still get to write a story every couple of weeks,
Yeah.
All right, well, thank you for listening. We will see you next time. We might take a couple of weeks off to set up we're not making a new channel, we're just renaming the current one. So you don't have to worry about subscribing and then resubscribing to a new channel or whatever. It'll all still be there. The original stories will be put in their own playlists, and you can listen to them anytime there. But we'll be back in a couple of weeks with a story from someone. We haven't decided who yet. And we'll see you then.
See ya.
See ya.